Okay, my people, what's up? What's going on? Don Bernard with Brother Bishop Francis Revels-Bey here on a very auspicious day. The 10-10-10, October 10, 2010. We're actually about to do a live chat via Ustream on my website, donbernardjr.com. But beforehand, we have some time, and so I figured we would do a video on the 5's. We haven't talked about the 5's. We know Bishop Francis is a master with the numbers and their divine significance. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about the 5's, bro?
Okay, well, number 5 is symbolic of Mercury.
Okay.
And Mercury, of course, is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. So 5 is all about communication. And, you know, 5, since it's Mercury, one of the things that's going on today is Mercury going direct. So when it's said to go direct, all communication lines are functioning, all machines are functioning.
Well, that makes sense then, that we're connecting on a day like that.
Right.
You know?
Very powerful. I would say that it's a very powerful time right now even to be aware of the 5's. Because 5 across the board is opening up your mind to a greater remembrance of who you are in the first place. So you're going pretty much into your true self. And if you think of in math or in numerology, the magic square of the numbers 1 through 9 laying out into 9 boxes, 5 is right in the middle. So 5 is the number that adapts to everything else. So you might treat 5 like the bridge for all the numbers to flow through. Numbers 1 through 4 are going to flow through 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are going to flow through the 5.
Yeah.
5 twice is, you know, if you're adding it is 10, that's new visions, and square it, that's a 25, which is a 7. So 5 is similar to a 7 sometimes, similar to a 1 vibration. So many different kind of connections that you can work with.
You know, people are just waking up all over the place nowadays. You know, I meet so many young people who are very much in tune. You know, I was just talking about a week ago to 2 females, and they weren't seeing it because within their circle of friends, they didn't, I guess, have the greatest friends around them.
Right.
But at the same time, they're waking up. I looked at those girls, and I just think a few years ago, they wouldn't be aware. They wouldn't be aware of just the higher consciousness that's circling around. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are just more accessible to the energy now?
Well, I think it's more accessible. My opinion and feeling about it is that we're always in a state of remembrance. We think all the time. And in our deepest moments, even if we're not paying attention, we're still going through a thought process in our mind.
Yeah.
And so think of your mind. The mind is the totality of who you are. It's your fire side, it's your airy side, it's your water, it's your earthly side. It's all of your extrasensory perceptions that you have. And what's happening is, on some level, all of this energy keeps looping back through because, you know, things come in cycles. So you might say that once information continues to build up in a person's consciousness, you might say the scale gets tipped and goes pow. You go, uh-oh, what's this?
Right.
You know, and then people start noticing synchronicity. Certain things happen, events keep replaying themselves out. So perhaps for those young women, they might think of it like they thought about, wouldn't it be nice if they met somebody that was, you know, conscious or had some information they wanted out. Here, you come into the picture.
Yeah.
You know, so they may not be aware on some level that their thought has laid it out in their intention, and their emotional energy went with it. And then they didn't try to control it, which was great. And then the universe, you know, brought something to you, and you felt like a need to go out. And the attraction began that way, and brought all these minds together.
It's interesting because sometimes you don't know just how far it's going to go. You know, you don't always know exactly where the energy is for you as well. I mean, you can have a glimpse in terms of like what you're saying. Someone needs you for a specific purpose, but at the same time, you don't know how ready they are to receive it or how much you need to give. I can imagine you have moments where you've gone through that, like time to hold back, time to push a little water forward. how deep is the well? How can you decipher how deep is the well?
I basically just listen to my inner voice on that. You know, I've learned over the years that you can't have an outline all the time. You can't have a script. I know I had people want me to talk about certain things, but when I get closer to the location and I see the people coming through and kind of spirits seeing through me, seeing the other spirits coming into that room, it's like I get like the paperwork in my head gets thrown out. It says, "We're not doing that today."
Yeah.
It's going to be, what we want you to do basically is test the audience.
Yeah.
And my usual test is, how many people are here for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
And people go, me. And I go, me too.
Me too. Yeah. It's all in the moment right now.
All in the moment. So I don't have a clue what I really want to say, but I just stay open to that quiet part, and you kind of feel it, which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, get your ego out the way.
Mm.
You know, you can get your ego out the way and let it flow.
Yeah.
You know, and I always stay in the moment. I always tell people in lectures, seminars, and classes, I like to get feedback. I like to get questions, but also understand I don't have all the answers at that very moment.
And I feel like, I think a lot of teachers, I can say myself as well, can feel pressure at times, you know, because you want to help people. You want to give them some light. But people look at you as if you're a god, which of course we are, but so are you, you know. So, you know, you get those feelings. It's like you have to put that aside. And then that's the ego as well. The ego of feeling the need to be more than what you already are can serve in that moment.
And feeling important, and, you know, you want to be the one to give the information, you know.
I did it!
You know, but then again, once you give that information, then, you know, sometimes people might use you for the crutch.
That's very true.
I mean, I have people from our last time. I have a guy that calls me up, and he's constantly calling me, you know. And sometimes he may call 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, he's not thinking. You know.
Wow, 1 in the morning, just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, sometimes. You know, but I'm up as it is. You know, I'm up to like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So my days run where I'm getting 4 or 5 hours sleep. But not because I don't want to. I just know the universe has so much flowing for me, and so it gives me energy to work on things. But it's funny when people call you like 3 in the morning, you know, expecting you to answer the phone, and sometimes I'll answer it with a feeling of glad to know that you called, but it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, I love questions. We love questions. I mean, you want to help people, but I mean, come on. It's, at the same time, there's just decency. You got to be decent and proper in your approach, you know. And for the most part, like, people have been really good with that.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to tell a few people, like, I mean, you're getting to a level now where this is a session, this is a life coaching session, and time is money. But I think for the most part, people will respect that space. I think a lot of it is what you put out there. So like you said, if you're in the kind of energy where you're needing to be the ultimate, like, I did it, then you will attract those kind of people. You know?
Yeah.
So we're just joshing. You know, once again, 555s. Anything you want to end off on the 5s before
5? Yeah, well, think of 5 as being your mental state, your emotional state, your spiritual, your body. It all adds to 6. So, you know, it's about being in service, but knowing when to draw the line. You know, because you got to have a balance between yourself, your personal life, if you have family around, family life, you want to share time with them, then you got the public. And you just got your time when you just want to be a little out there, enjoying yourself, having some fun, and not being Mr. Important, you know?
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. You know, just balance. Everything is balance. You know, being able to balance your service, you know, your selflessness, your selfishness, in relationship, in business, in the spirit world. We seek balance.
Yes.
So with that, namaste.
Peace.
Peace.